So it did take some of my progress, but I can skip to where I was. It didn't take too much progress, but it still took some progress. So I use extended storage on my PlayStation. And the PlayStation thought it was removed when it wasn't. So it completely closed me out of the game and my live stream. Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession. Evidence? It's just the same as when you were in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Simply select the present pen, and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use. So, evidence that would give us a viable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yes. I think I might know what we can use. Let's see if I can present the detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill." A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asage-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Did I turn off text skip? Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, Nick, he seems to be eternally sick. Just constantly, deathly ill. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m., SS Furia, first class cabin passageway. Ugh, finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. This is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, his is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Really? It must be awful. Oh, look over there! It's another crewman keeping watch. It looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. Suppose. Like people in handcuffs. Naruhodo-san. You look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. Ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. Must have been a very trying time for you. Please don't give me that pitying look. Okay, so let's not mess with beefy McMuscle cake over here. Let's just go into the next room. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours, the one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help us solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Hi! You're big. Oh, excuse me. We need to get inside this cabin here. Sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out. That's what I wrote on the sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Although this man's version is definitely more effective. Doesn't look like he's going to let us pass. That's a problem. What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says, press only in times of emergency. Looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship, and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Oh, this I have to see. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it. Oh, that thing on the floor? Yeah, that's a huge mousetrap. I just love that Naruhodo's first instinct when he hears alarms ring all over the ship and it comes to a complete stop is, I have to see this, and he immediately starts to push it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. Wish everything would just stop. This ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. What is this thing? Oh, it is a mousetrap. A trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Though they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait. Let me see. Yes, I think that's what it is called. What is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Cheese. I wonder what that tastes like. It tastes magical, Naruhodo. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But, suppose you're right. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Cosmo's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find you a little snack for you later. Cheese. Exactly, Nick. Cheese. Cheese is great. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Can we not talk to this guy? Ooh, wait, ship protocols. It's a huge book on top of the table there. There's a pen next to it. Yes, that looks like the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. And nothing. No reaction at all. Thought he might appreciate the compliment. Not sure that rough and ready is much of a compliment, Naruhodo-san, even to a sailor. Anyway, last night's log is mostly blank. Presumably that means there was nothing to report. That doesn't sound right. Hey, bud. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer? That wasn't a good start, was it? All right, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid. Damn! Oh, we seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Sosoto-san. I am not Sailor. My mother gave me name. But it says right there that your name is Sailor. I am Senior Crewman Beef Stroganoff. Your name is a food. Ooh. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. If I was there in person actually experiencing this, I would be dead right now. As soon as he said the name Beef Stroganoff, I would have died. I would have laughed, and then he would have destroyed me. Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area. Here we are in finest part of Buria steamship for very important persons. What sorts of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many more important persons. That is why I am always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean. But Stroganoff is not animal. Thank you. If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Osogi's currently occupied? Da. Sosuto-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. It's yes. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation. Well, it sounds like there was somebody in the next door cabin, at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Osogi's? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is a very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is an authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in lowly student from insignificant Far East Islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? Wrong accent. That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, I've been in Cosmo's cabin the entire time. I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably, since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Can I show him anything that would... Nope. All I have to do right now is talk to him. Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all time, so criminals like you cannot come in, or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is sad about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. Did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? I don't know how to pronounce that. Sosoto-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. Is that niet? I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. I hope it's not going to be 5 hours. You didn't hear any strange noises, sense anything was wrong in some way. I said no. Sorry. Not so sure. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. Is there something I can show him? This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh, it's time for me to report to Captain. Must return to cabin. Although I do think that this live stream will probably only have the investigation. I don't think we're going to get to any trial parts today. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second-class area staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. As English say, when the pigs fly. What? Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Oh, so he's gone? Cool. All we had to do was annoy him into going away. This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. Ah! What was that? It came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside. I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes, I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? And how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. January SS Korea, first class cabin, number 2. Who are you? A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe. Roylott. Please excuse... Oh wait, I already read that. I don't think it's Sholmes, but that's mostly because I've seen, like, the trailers and stuff for the game. I think it's this guy, probably. Yes, that's me, and you are? I'm the one and only, The actual Sherlock Holmes. You've heard of me, no doubt? No. I'm a great detective among great detectives, one who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. Man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? But don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, that's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. Oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the case just shook. Leave, now, otherwise I'll call the steward. So this is Kazuma's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I think he's this guy. Is he this guy? No, he doesn't look similar. His nose is too big. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. I'm gonna poke this, see what happens. What do you think you're doing? This is my cabin. Get out! Could we just have a quick look inside your traveling case, perhaps? No! What a pity. I think we're out of luck. I think you're right. There doesn't appear to be anything more we can do. I was using scissors with men's... Oh yeah, he is, isn't he? I agree. There may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roylott. How is he doing? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed, I was contemplating a sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service. You were taking a nap. Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually, you're spot on, for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host, he has a newspaper in his pocket. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? You pointed out? Why, the truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Here we go. Oh yes, please. I've been waiting for this. Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shh! I must have complete silence! What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Detective Gumshoe too. I hadn't thought of that. Ah, just as I thought, a Detective Gumshoe version of Sherlock Holmes. That's the perfect way to describe that. Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I've quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh. And number two, the other conclusion I've drawn, you are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah. Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What ineffable twaddle. Oh, that's fun. That's a fun saying. I'm gonna use that. Ineffable twaddle. Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Almost read the wrong name. Now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. Actually, his face seems to look purple now. Looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? How could I possibly know such things? Yes, word of the day. Twaddle. You wish to say? Very well, then. I shall elucidate. Oh wait, I already made the hallucinate joke, didn't I? I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Old Man's Identity. This is what I was talking about. This is a new thing that is only in this game, as far as I know. This was in the trailers and stuff. So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously, what catches the eye in the first place? The mittens we're using the scissors. Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. You seemed confused when he said that, though. The question then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will. Ow, I just hit my headphones. This morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front-page article. Which, it would appear, you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I pointed it out too. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain Bolshevik Flees Russia via Shanghai. As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I've heard of you myself, you understand. Conclusion, revolutionary on the run. Topic 2. Wrongdoing. Yeah, the live stream, there's usually a couple seconds of delay between what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. Which is kind of irritating, but I mean, I guess that's just how it is. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let the eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Guess that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. I bet he has a pet. Looks like young Russian Santa Claus. He does. I bet his wrongdoing is that he has a pet on board. Because pets are not allowed. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps. One slight enough to fit therein. That is literally impossible. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your traveling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. But there is another, most stimulating article. The one about the kidnapped girl? If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. According to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Conclusion. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Whoop, I just threw something that I shouldn't have thrown. Whoops. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the Russian enigma, Elemensky. This guy's fun. As much of an idiot as he is, he's fun. Susato-san. That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes. Could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's a newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes. I recall our discussion earlier, and at the time I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard. Don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. Oh, hey! Yes, you have found a live stream. Hello! No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10 years' worth of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in their body. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, I might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of a matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato. It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if he might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. If you're sure that if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man has a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. Ha 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 ha! It's not that funny. Ah, and you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? What the hell? Where are your handcuffs? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried, in fact I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Old man's identity. Conclusion, revolutionary on the run. So, dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott. Obviously what catches the eye in the first place. It's the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. There it is. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though. Doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san. See if it helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard that he intended to use those shears on. Exactly. If you do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Sholmes' deduction better, then what? Then I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Because you are the protagonist. Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around at that last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for?
Yes!
Golden locks. This is awesome! You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one's still very much in her youth. She's the... Holy shit! If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. She's the princess! Holy shit! It's her! Well, that's cool! Is she on the run from something? Is she stealing the tiara? Is that what's happening? The question that then begged is this. Why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea that old man was really a young woman in disguise. Did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. I am. This is fun shit. This is strictly business. Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deductions, shall we? The evidence that he's picked up doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylett is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. Suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else, something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Yes! Oh wait, shit, that's not it. It's not Kazuma's diary. That deduction was wanting in every way. Yes, I was wanting to hear it. Quite proud of it. I hit that one on accident. I found myself wanting never to have heard it. Quite pained by it, in fact. Oh, sorry. I'll try again. That means I have one less chance in the trial. Mr. Roylett isn't a merciless revolutionary at all. No, he isn't even a mister. But that disguise, he is a young woman. And I do feel like we have some evidence here somewhere that might reveal who she really is. Let's have another look through all the evidence we've gathered so far and see if we can find it. I meant to hit this. Yes! Article about the ballerina. The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. That's precarious. You're right. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Conclusion. A ballerina on the run. Solved! Topic number 2. Wrongdoing. Conclusion. Kidnapping of a ballerina. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there! Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let the eyes stray, you see. I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. This woman is the ballerina. She's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well. No, that's right. It seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Naruhodo-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Got it! Oh, I pressed X instead of triangle. Are those real diamonds, do you think? Oh, Naruhodo-san, try it on! What? Me? Isn't it usually girls who wear tiaras? Wouldn't you like to try it on? Oh no, I couldn't possibly. It's far too beautiful. Why does this tiara look familiar? I feel like I've seen it somewhere recently. Yes! She stole the tiara. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers of the Novovich Ballet, is it not? Indeed, it would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking the precious tiara with you. I have no one, no family, no friends. I'm all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, what do you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old. She's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright, I'll tell you everything. There is no point to hiding it now. Come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? What's in the case? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? I have like a back scratcher that I'm holding that I'm using to like the thing that I accidentally threw earlier. That was me pointing dramatically like the characters in the game because it's more fun that way. My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case even before I've ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, you need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the books on the shelf. He's completely changed tack with his deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to the changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true. But still, Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. And there has to be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area. That's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Got it! Rules of passage. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside that case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move of its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. Those are fun. I like those. Solved. Deduction complete. Elementary. I don't know about you two, but that was fun. That was so much fun. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were. That's like the most fun I've had with games recently, in like a few days, at least. That was fun. No, I'm not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. I want to play it again now. Mr. Dancy Pants. Yep, exactly. You absconded during one of your ballet's company's performances in order to escape your homeland. There should be plenty more of those, by the way, if the trailers are to be believed. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Borea is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. You intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. That is sexist. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That veritable tinkling of a bell? Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, disgust myself, so no one would recognize me. As a result, you transformed yourself into that questionable old man? I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper, right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened. I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. Picked up the scissors in my hand and... At that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? Please tell me it's a dog. Or a cat. You were right. It's my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Well, you better let it out! Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say to any of the crew, your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something, Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? It was certainly something, yes. Just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. Are my handcuffs back on? God damn it. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Ah, when? And why? There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry to say, can't be helped at the moment. Can't it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. I'm not sure she's the culprit. I think my earlier theory is incorrect. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious... Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? No? Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Is it a bird? Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there, then? You may well ask. I have no idea! You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, can satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret, not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. What can I show her? Oh, right, the diary. I'm an idiot. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? The ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova, has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean anything to you, or the whistling sound, perhaps? No, I don't know anything. Oh. What if I show her that I'm a stowaway as well? Miss Pavlova, would you take a look at this? I don't know. Don't know anything. Naruhodo, you frightened the poor girl. Oh, sorry. Wasn't trying to. Nope. Shit. I just read that. What happened last night? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh, that's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Running away. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet. Yes. I'm traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. That's sad. I wish to forget. Challenging proposition. And you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. The crew of this ship, they've all been kind to me. They let me come on board. They said I could hide in this cabin. That is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova. It creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Why did she feel the need to disguise herself? If the people on board already knew who she was. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you had absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Borea stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked them about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. Oh yeah, beef stroganoff. That is not your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry? What was that? That's how the Russian newspapers described all of my performances. And that is how I came here, too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words I once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. Oh, that's not good. Excuse me, Mr. Royland. Yes? What? Wow, she's fast. Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once. Please. Alright, I will come now. What? You must leave. Now. Oh, no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry about yourself. Please don't worry yourself, Mr. Wright. Get out! The passenger said out, or do you want me to throw you out? Looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. To be continued. So it seems like this will be a multi-day investigation. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd managed to find some clue as to what that speckled band might be. We didn't manage to investigate at all. I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us, as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where did he go? Oh, yes, he's completely disappeared. When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. I'm probably going to end it soon. Once they stop talking. Oh, so now, I guess? Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it off here. We got one part of the investigation done. I'd hoped to only have one part to the investigation and then have the trial, but it looks like we're going to have to wait a bit longer for that. I don't know. Would you guys want to see the second part to the investigation in another live stream, or should I record it and edit it down so that it's not 2 hours long? Like learning alongside me? Okay, yeah, that's fair. It is pretty fun to... Yeah. Yeah, I think it is more fun to be able to communicate with people, with you guys, while I'm playing this game. Alright, so then I'll plan to live stream the next part sometime. I'll have to let you guys know when I'm able to. But probably next Friday at about the same time, 6 o'clock. I'm going to have to start doing my live streams earlier. That was fun. I really liked that deduction part, though. That was fun. I loved that. I look forward to, like, once I'm done with the game, and, like, I've done everything in it, like, I've gone through the story at least once, I look forward to coming back through and doing those sections again. because that was great. That was so enjoyable. Actually, I need to go back in and look at what evidence we were able to find. We don't have much. We have a photograph of the crime. I could do a speed run. Skip through all the dialogue. This is apparently... Nick, I think he missed this, but this is apparently the Russian word for wardrobe. But it looks like here there was an extra line added. And I'm pretty sure Kazuma didn't actually know Russian. I don't know. We'll see. Sorry, I zoned out because I'm thinking about things. So we'll learn more in the next part of the investigation. And then hopefully after that will be the trial. This is already, like, this is surprisingly long. Even like, well, actually, no. The second case of the first Ace Attorney game was also pretty long. I think it had... No, it was one day. It was one part to the investigation. So yeah, this game is a bit longer. It definitely plays longer. But I think it's worth it. I mean, I haven't felt bored a single time while I've been playing this, but I've also been playing it, so hopefully it doesn't get boring for anyone else. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Thank you both for watching. This is getting interesting. I also like learning everything alongside the two of you. And, like, hearing your theories about what's going on. Because I'm sure eventually this will get so complicated that three heads working together will be pretty spectacular. Anyway, good night, everyone. I will see you, hopefully, next week.